It is. We definitely know it's an offensive player.
Yeah, Kellen on the phone.
Would he talk to an offensive lineman?
Kellen could be really excited about defense. He's a football coach, man.
Would he talk to an offensive lineman?
They would get big Colombo in there.
Lyle likely not here next year.
Okay, passing everybody around.
Could it be KT's Dawson Knox?
Don't you think they would call Colombo up? Anything's possible.
McGovern, Samia.
Riley Ridley.
Looking at my names here.
It's Mark Colombo.
It's an offensive lineman.
Okay.
Idoga, McGovern.
Yeah, it could be.
Samia.
This I bet you this is one of Mark Colombo's. Let's go get a tough guy. This might be McGovern.
Yeah.
This might be one of those guys that,
we get ready to play him where?
He's a center, guard.
Play center or guard.
Maybe they think about moving Connor Williams.
Yeah, which I'm not against at all. By the way, Connor Williams, seeing the picture that Dave posted of him today,
man,
that dude looks
up,
like he has remade his body quickly.
Yeah.
So we're waiting.
Zach Martin.
Yeah, the Colts pick is in. So we're waiting on the Cowboys. They'll be right behind him with Mark Colombo hugging. It's going to be some offensive lineman, of course, and. My guess, is this a way of protecting yourself if, in fact, Dame, we've talked about this with McGovern.
Mm-hmm.
You get Joe Looney's contract is up. Here's you get a guy that's a center, guard.
You're not 100% sure what Travis Frederick is going to be.
Exactly.
Did we undersell that? I mean, all the reports on Travis have been positive.
No. I saw him at the Mudbug Bash last week, and he was very positive about everything. I mean, himself.
He's always positive, though.
He is very
But
positive.
he's fine. Travis is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do we have Connor Williams questions or do we have Lyle Collins questions? I know we don't like to move around offensive linemen, but I'm just telling you that Connor Williams can play tackle.
What you do is you take the best
tackles. Are there any tackles there?
Idoga, Kajust? I don't think so. So my guess
would be
Oklahoma
Lane. Is that?
I think that's early. I think the pick would, if you're picking an offensive lineman,
The Colts.
I think it's McGovern.
Here's the
Colts pick at the podium.
Let's see the Colts.
7-second delay. He's man of America, not man of the year. He's man of America.
Nashville. I'm not going to say a single word about the Tennessee Titans record against the Indianapolis Colts because I was a punter, and there's no reason for me to talk about that. With that being said, we did not punt much against the Tennessee Titans. That being said, the Indianapolis Colts are the hottest team, not only in the AFC South, but the entire NFL. A young nucleus surrounding the Stanford nerd Andrew Luck. 2 All-Pros were drafted last year, 10 this year, and with the 89th pick of the 2019 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard select future Hall of Famer, linebacker from Stanford, Bobby Okereke.
Put that man in the Monday Night Football booth.
Oh, Bobby.
He's pretty great.
He's awesome.
Put him somewhere else.
Wow.
It's the last time he's making a pick in the NFL draft.
It's the third round. I don't need you up there for 120
it's all about
seconds.
It's all about your own personal brand.
Especially we're trying to figure out our pick.
I'm the king of just make the pick, but that was awesome. Y'all are.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Awful.
Dan, do you have anything on Bobby Okereke?
He has a length that really makes a lot of offensive tackles jealous. 34.5-inch arms for a linebacker. It's silly. Senior captain. Coaches talk really highly about his intangibles. He's a guy that's productive. Almost 100 tackles the last 2 years. A guy that's played a lot of different spots. Needs to get better. Even though he has that length, needs to get better taking on blocks. But he has the play speed, the length, the intelligence that you want in the position. He's going to be a nickel linebacker, special teamer. I think he'd develop into more.
Okay, Bobby Okereke. I had him kind of in that same area of the draft with Taki. Yeah, we kind of. If you look at our 105.3 board, we had Taki Okereke right in that area. That was probably right around the 5th round. So little early for us there, about around right. Okay, picks in for the Cowboys. We've seen in the war room. Yeah, been in for a while. We got Mark Colombo came in and gave
Connor McGovern.
Yeah, that's what makes the most sense.
Bobby
Evans, Connor McGovern, and to announce the pick will be Ray. I believe this is Rayfield Wright, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go to the podium.
Wow, champion and
I hope I'm right.
Football Hall of Famer Rayfield.
Thank you.
Too tall announced the D tackle, and Rayfield Wright's going to announce an offensive line. Not bad.
You sure that's not Troy Aikman?
Nashville.
You're not wrong, Dane.
Time to turn out the lights, baby. How about them Dallas Cowboys?
All right.
Oh, don't boo Rayfield Wright. Come on.
I love it. The 90th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft for the Dallas Cowboys. Selection is Connor McGovern, guard from Penn State.
Yeah,
Connor McGovern.
Okay.
This is
Dave, check your microphone. You might be popped yourself off there. There.
No, I'm on. Hello.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Dane, anybody want to talk about Connor McGovern here?
Played both center and guard at Penn State. He has that versatility that you're looking for. Sometimes, what I had trouble with Connor McGovern, he'd forget his feet at times, and he'd rely on his upper body, and that would get him off balance. He'd start leaning. That's where things kind of broke down. But when he kept when he kept defenders in front of him, he was able to tie him up and shut him down. So there's a lot to like about him. Mostly that versatility. That's key because he could be interchangeable anywhere you want on the interior.
We had him as a third-round player on our board. We had him as the top offensive lineman if they were going to go that route, left on our board. Yeah. So hard to be upset with that one for me. I saw a better run blocker than pass protector at this point for him, but a guy that's played center and guard makes me wonder if Connor Williams might be a right tackle a year from now.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking about. Yeah,
and if that's your best offensive lineman available and you believe in having that be your long-term plan, I can get behind that pick. I can totally understand that pick.
Yeah.
That's a third-round graded player for us going at the end of the third round. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
And I just tweeted this. I don't think it's a bad pick. It is curious because of everything we just said. And if that's the case, if you're planning to move Connor, what's this guy going to do in the meantime? Or if you're going to move Connor right now, what's Connor going to do in the meantime? You know, like I think it sounds like a great pick in 2020, but what's it mean right now?
Yeah, I think this is more about a pick in 20. I think this is
they're drafting for 2020. Huh?
Yeah, well, this pick I think is for 2020.
Is this guy going to be your game day inactive for the next 17 weeks?
I don't think they'll do that with him.
Might be Joe Looney might have a situation on his hands.
Joe Looney, who played 16 games for you last year.
Thanks for saving our season, Joe. Get out.
No, exactly. But I think with Connor McGovern here, I remember this very well. I remember Drew Fabianich coming by my desk, and this was well back in January, and he's like, "Hey, you need to take a look at this Connor McGovern. You need to take a look at him. We really like him. He's a guy, tough guy, physical guy, plays a couple of position guys." And I think Dane and I think you and I looked at film together about him, and I agree with Dane a little bit. I think the guy gets a little overextended at time, but I do think he gets to the second level, and I think he's got some power. I think he's got some strength. But I mean, to me, I think that they're kind of looking at Joe Looney being on the last year's deal. Maybe maybe that's like they want to move on. But this could be Connor McGovern sits for a year, gets stronger. They don't have to play him anywhere, and he might be a backup center. If something happens again, you guys brought up the thing with Travis Frederick. Even though talking to Travis Frederick for a long time last week, he feels good, ready to go.
Yeah,
Zach Martin's never missed a game.
Yeah, but this is a situation where all of a sudden Connor McGovern is playing left guard, and then Connor Williams is playing right tackle because Lyle Collins is gone, and it gives you a chance to get Connor McGovern maybe a little bit more stronger, develop him a little bit, and then go from there. This might be the highest rated guy on their board at the time.
Yeah,
that could be very well the case. That
we're at what 90, pick 90. He was my 84th player. So I would not be surprised at all if he was their highest graded player at this point.
It's just hard to get five guys in a room covering the draft to go, yes, when you pick an offensive lineman that's going to be a backup this year, most likely.
We saw that happen in Atlanta. Now, Atlanta took a guy that I would have gone, what? They took with McGarry. I would have.
And we had McGarry
I was like,
around
what?
later.
Yeah, what? But yeah, this guy, I think, has got some versatility to him. I think he's got some toughness to him. I just kind of see this as one of those things, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up everybody's rear here. I'm just saying they're kind of thinking about what's going to happen with this offensive line.
Yeah.
You know, money wise. I mean, they're going to have to make some decisions on that.
I mean, kudos to them for, keep throwing resources at your offensive line. I mean, it wasn't that good by their standards last year.
Right. Okay.
So that's it's funny because it's the dichotomy of the draft. Like at pick 58, a lot of people think maybe they reached for Tristan Hill.
Yeah.
Here, maybe they take the best player available. Certainly looks like it. Not a drastic position of need.
Still not excited.
And like it's almost like you can't win. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Like it's a smart pick that makes sense that might not help you in 2019 versus a guy that you might maybe reached for earlier.
You guys made some really passionate arguments for taking the corner from the University of Houston.
I'd rather have McGovern than Isaiah Johnson.
McGovern's rated higher on my board.
Mine too.
I think.
What are we doing? Are we talking? Are we talking about making a shift in our defense and the way we do things, or are we doing it? That's my question.
I think that
we're talking about it.
I think they're talking about it,
and they're not sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to
shift in what?
Just the way they want to play defense with longer corners and things like that.
Yeah.
Because there's a big difference in 3 inches. You start talking about 1 inch, 3 inches is a big difference.
These were this similar picks at different positions, right? Like you don't need a cornerback right now, but you're thinking toward the future if you can't bring back Byron Jones. You don't need an offensive line.
You have a ton of money tied up in your offensive line.
Think about this the same way you think about all this stuff. Malik Collins, Byron Jones, Anthony Brown,
Lyle Collins,
and
right.
Joe Looney.
It's the exact same thing as what we're thinking about corner, where Byron and Anthony Brown have 1 year left, except here we're just talking about Lyle Collins. And I think if you're in that room and you're wondering how to address it, if I look at the offensive tackles on our board and say, hey guys, what are we going to do a year from now? My answer, I'm looking at the board and going, oh, I don't know.
Like the guards.
How about
more
taking
than
a
the
guard?
tackles?
What if we have a guard on our team that can play tackle? Bang, problem solved. Let's go. Pick the best player.
In the interest of him being as good as possible, do you consider moving Connor now? You've got Xavier Su'a-Filo.
I tell you what, now we're going to get wild here, and I'll get wild with you.
Is he your backup center?
I would flip Lyle Collins and Connor Williams today and let Lyle Collins play out his last year as a left guard, where I've seen him, I believe, play better football.
We're going to get him on the call here in a minute. We're going to get him on this call.
Jets pick
for whatever that
now,
would be.
92.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll keep talking here.
Let's keep talking.
Yeah, we'll just keep talking about this because you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, I think this is a move, and then the USC tackle. Ndoga, is that how we say it?
Chuma Ndoga
has gone to the Jets there. So we've
Trey Pipkins went to
we've had a couple of
Chargers,
offensive linemen actually go here. So this pick is 92. Is that to the Jets, right?
Yes, sir.
Or is that 93? Which
93? No, that was 92 for the Jets. They traded.
They traded. Okay, so that's the Jets there at 92, and so I think that to me it's more about what they're thinking about with Lyle Collins. That's what they're. I think that's what they're trying. They're getting a jump on this by getting a guard in here to learn and develop and get stronger, and then they're going to kick Connor Williams to the outside, just like they did Lyle Collins.
But that's my point. Is don't you want to give Connor Williams some time to adjust to playing tackle in the NFL? You think he'll be good if you move him there next March?
Remember, we were evaluating him as a player at the University of Texas playing left tackle, weren't we?
Yeah, but
we were. Did we bulk him up?
Yeah, I mean, go look at that.
My question.
I don't mind him being bigger and playing tackle.
I mean,
if the
can he move as quick?
If the Cowboys coaching staff, he can move quicker than Lyle Collins. I promise.
Oh yeah,
I promise.
Lyle's an afterthought for 2020 though.
Right, but what I'm thinking is, I'd be open to making that move today. Flip those two.
One thing I might come into play though, or maybe it wouldn't, because what if Connor Williams? I'm playing pure hypotheticals here. Let's say Lyle Collins is a much better year than Connor Williams, and Connor Williams doesn't take a step. And Lyle Collins, maybe you could get at a reasonable rate back. I'm saying he just has an average year like last year, but Connor Williams doesn't take that step. Maybe you might be interested in getting and maybe just replacing Connor Williams with Connor McGovern. We're looking way ahead. Also, the quarterback you're about to give $30 million to is best friends with Lyle Collins.
I think
that's a good point.
I think they're looking ahead to just overall how they're going to have to pay these guys.
Which nobody loves Lyle Collins more than I do.
Right.
He went to LSU. He's a good relationship in the locker room, but it's beyond obvious that they just can't afford to keep him here. You saw Brown, the New England tackle. Like, I'm spacing on his first name. They just gave him $70 million in Oakland.
Right. Yeah.
Lyle Collins. Trey Brown.
Yeah,
Trey Brown.
He got $70 million. Lyle Collins is going to get paid. That's like there's very little doubt in my mind. I don't think he's here next year, but that's interesting.
Miles Boykin, by the way, we just went to the Baltimore Ravens.
He couldn't
be
on,
wide receiver for Notre Dame.
He couldn't be on the trade block now, right?
That's interesting.
It's very interesting.
I mean,
and I made this. It's
very interesting.
I made this call on Twitter. You know, when all that taco stuff went down, I said, "You want to trade a real guy? Trade Lyle Collins.
Yeah,
that'll get you something."
Yeah, but
but we're